Oh my gosh, it's been way too long since I posted a video. I apologize, but life got in the way. But what better way to get back into the swing of things than to recap my fantastic weekend attending the first year of a new furry convention. I'm Kid Ulf, and with PCD and Phantom Tail Syndrome, we're talking about Furvana. So way back in late April, early May, I moved to Seattle. After getting a job, the next thing I wanted to do was to be a bit more social and be a bit more active in the furry fandom. I knew Seattle had a furry scene, and at one time there used to be a FurCon here. We're not going to talk about that. So after looking into furry groups in the area, I actually found that there were a couple of cons I wanted to go to, or that looked pretty good. It was during this time that I stumbled across Furvana. I think what really grabbed my attention about Furvana was the fact that it was a first-year con. I kind of have a soft spot for first-year cons. Something about being a part of something just starting out is great. Seeing those initial numbers and going, yeah, I was a part of that. I made that happen. So I requested time off from work, registered, and got a friend of mine, Leo, to meet up and attend. And the last thing I did was book the hotel. So there were two con hotels this year, the Morning Glory and the Shiloh Inn. We settled on the Morning Glory because it had a continental breakfast. Hey, I'm a simple yote. Free food and slightly cheaper was the selling point for me. Don't judge me. Furvana was at the Ocean Shores Convention Center, which is a good 2 to 3 hour trip from where I live, depending on traffic and whatnot. I usually give myself a buffer of a day or so around the con to travel. So I used Thursday as a travel day to get to the con and get myself situated. The drive down was nice. Well, after I got out of the metro area of Seattle with all the traffic and the rain, beautiful woodland areas and coastal towns actually made the trip pretty fun. Finally, I pulled into Ocean Shores earlier than I had intended, so I went ahead and checked in and got this nice view from my room. Ooh, pretty. So Leo later showed up and we hugged and then went and hit up the local grocery store for some drinks. We also stopped at Dugan's Pizza for dinner. It was this nice little hole-in-the-wall pizza place, and I absolutely loved the aesthetic, and the calzone I had was pretty tasty. Friday was the first day of the con. Registration took a little bit longer to get going, but when it finally got going, we were through it pretty quick. Swag wasn't too bad for the first year. The t-shirt's nice, and it's pretty comfy too. We perused the dealer's den, commissioned some badges, and lunch was at the Lighthouse. I ordered their poutine, and it was amazing. Oh, the cheese was all nice and melty and... Anyways, Leo kept sneaking the gravy I had on my fries. Opening ceremonies were fun, simple, and yet entertaining. I absolutely loved the lighting setup. Friday night was also the night they had a retro set at the dance, and I boogied my tail off. Saturday was a day I attended a flash fiction panel by one of the guests of honor, Mary Loud. It was fun and allowed me to stretch my writing muscles a bit. I also participated in a Smash tournament. It was fun, but I soon realized how much out of my league I was, and maybe I just like gaming for the fun of it and not necessarily for the competition. But my favorite part about Saturday was the Whose Lion Is It Anyways panel put on by another guest of honor, Alkali. I hadn't done improv since the last convention I went to, and Leo was there pushing me to participate, so I went ahead and jumped in. It was actually the best fun I had in a long time. I was even asked to come up for the final sketch. Sunday was a nice, relaxing day. The closing ceremonies were held on a beach. It was a little cold and windy, but the view was amazing. While that was going on, one of the volunteers proposed to her boyfriend. It was nice. I absolutely love convention proposals. They're just so wonderful. There was also a beach party and dance put on by Fetch Northwest, and part of this party included an interesting memorial service involving a dead Christmas tree and some little tags. What you were supposed to do was to write the name of a person or pet, or a wish for the coming year, or things you wanted to move past on a tag. And you put that tag on the tree to later be burned. I got pretty emotional at this point because, well, 2019 hasn't been the best year for me. You see, back in March, shortly after I had made my first video, my dad died. My life kind of got a little bit complicated dealing with funeral arrangements, getting the family together, and simply coping with the loss. It didn't help that work was getting unbearable, and because my vacation time was used up for the grievance period, I had to cancel plans I was making to attend Anthro Weekend Utah and BLFC. 6 months later, there I was, standing on a beach at the end of a con, with plans to attend MFF later in that year, and I finally felt like my life was bouncing back from my loss, and maybe I was ready to move on. And with that, I broke down and cried. I needed to get that out, and it was nice. For Leo, it was his first con ever. He was so glad at how it turned out that he wanted to do it again. We also kicked around the ideas of meeting back up outside of conventions. Overall, Furvana had 452 attendees and raised $3,142.96 for Coastal Raptors. Not bad for a first-year con. So with Furvana out of the way, what's on the docket for the Yote now? Well, I have one more convention I'll be attending this year. I've finally got the time off and everything to go to MFF in December. Plus, I plan on being a little bit more active in the furry community, so that means more content more often. Woohoo! My initial goal will be to try and get a video out every month, but we may see if I can't bump that to about twice a month. If you have suggestions for videos or questions or comments, leave them below. Thank you for watching.